There is a lot of things you need to consider while raiding a base in Last Day on Earth. The equipment you need to take, the amount of noise you can make, the items and the resources you can bring back, and much more things. If you are a beginner and just started raiding, this guide is for you. Today I will explain everything you need to know about raiding. Make sure to watch until the end to better understand the mechanics of raiding, and you can check out the first part of this series where I explained the basics of raiding and the best base protection against raiders. Link will be in the description. Also be sure to check out Aptoide. Download Last Day on Earth using the link in the description and use my promo code CRX to earn 5% in cashback in your next purchases. So, you called the raiders from the radio, completed the tasks and spawned the base. Now what? Well, you need to prepare your equipment for the raid. These are the essential equipment you will almost always need in a raid. Hatchets to break wooden walls, iron hatchets to break plank walls, C4 to break stone walls, and there is no way to break metal or brick walls for now. Then you will need some armor and weapons. A reinforced set of armor will be enough. Stack of carrots too, or a few bandages, katanas, machetes, metal pipes, or silenced guns. It is important to bring weapons that don't make noise. Any melee weapon will do fine. In terms of guns, use a silenced Glock or VSS. Just make sure to double check your equipment. This is how your inventory should look like before going into any raid. However, there is actually one thing you can do to help you prepare yourself for a raid, and that's YouTube. Players have been posting YouTube videos about their raids since the introduction of the raiding system. It is pretty simple. You go to YouTube and you go to my channel and subscribe. That's the first step. Alright, done? Then search LDOE, raid, name of the base, and tons of results will appear. You want to pick the most recent video. You only need to watch a few seconds of the video to see what equipment you need. For example, in this raid, it looks like I'm only going to need normal and iron hatchets. No C4 needed. If you really want your raid to be perfect, you can watch the full video to see where the entrance of the base is and where are the chests with the most valuable loot. This way, you can pretty much maximize your efficiency when raiding. For me though, I will only check for the entrance. Alright, now let's go raiding.
Let's go gambling!
When entering the player's base, this will appear next to your character. This is what we call the noise meter. In raids, there's a couple of actions that generate noise. Actions such as entering the base with the chopper, breaking walls and chests, and crafting. Here is a full list of all the actions that generates noise inside a base. Each action makes a set amount of noise. For example, breaking a wooden wall will add 3 noise to the noise meter. Pause the video or check the official LDOE wiki for more details. There is 4 stages inside a raid. The first is when you reach around 24 on the noise meter. 4 fast biters and 2 floater bloaters will spawn, immediately attacking you. The second stage is around 46 noise. This time, 4 fast biters, 2 floater bloaters, and 1 toxic abomination will spawn. Then 72 on the noise meter, 4 fast biters, and 3 toxic abominations will spawn. Lastly, in the 4th stage, when the noise meter reaches 100%, 2 toxic abominations will spawn along with the big one. The big one in raids is unkillable. If you manage to bring his health down to 200 HP, he will regenerate to full health. He will constantly chase you down and even teleport to you, no matter where you are. The damage done by the big one also increases by each hit, until he can one-shot you. Basically, you don't want to reach 100% in the noise meter while raiding. The big one will almost always kill you. There is one trick you can use to prevent that, but we will talk about it in the 3rd part of the series, so be sure to turn on the notifications. We need to make as less noise as possible. Everything we do inside a raid must be calculated. This is why it's important to watch the YouTube video before doing anything in raids. Now that we have located the entrance to the base, let's steal some loot. As I said before, breaking chests will make noise, so choose wisely what chest you will break. Take the most valuable loot you will find. You can decide what you want to take, it depends on what you need really. Now for me, I didn't get the best raid for this video.
Trash!
But you might actually be lucky and get bases like Daniel Chavez, which is a base filled with Glocks, or Mixto 1996, where you find Glocks, SWAT armor, medkits, bandages and more. Sometimes you will also get unlucky and have bases that basically have trash. It is all about luck. There is nothing you can do to increase the chances of finding a good base. Of course, you will need to take down the zombies so that you can continue raiding. If somehow you die while raiding, you will have one chance to go back and bring back your loot. After that, if you die another time, then the base will disappear with your dead body inside. One other thing to take into consideration is if you leave the raid to the global map or your game completely crashes. In that case, if you die, the base will disappear and your dead body with it. Let's say, for example, you entered a base for the first time. You break some walls and chests, and suddenly your game crashes. Now you have to restart LDOE. Once you re-enter the base and you die, then the base will disappear completely. You will have no chance to restore your loot. So be extremely careful while raiding. Always check your connection, because otherwise you could potentially lose all your items. And a last note, you know how you can restore your body if you die by watching an ad. Well, that doesn't work inside raids. After breaking all the chests you wanted, you can head back to your chopper to store more items. Take everything you can and leave the base before the big one gets you. Once the raid is completed, the raiders at your base will be waiting for you, expecting a share of your loot.
Yeah, boy.
Either from the loot you found in the raid or items you already had in your base. Different items have different value. Raiders have 4 levels of satisfaction depending on what items you share. For example, if you share nothing or items of no value, then the raiders will be angry and they will attack your base within 2 hours. On the other hand, if you share decent loot with them, they will leave the base and then you can call them again to start a new raid. Each item in the game has a set amount of value to the raiders. You can find a list of all the items in the official LDOE wiki. The most valuable items to the raiders include electronic circuits, heat sensors, chopper gas tanks, C4, and other rare resources. What items you should give to the raiders depends on the loot you got from the raid itself. For instance, if you get tons of guns, SWAT armor, and medkits, the raiders will expect a higher payment.
Go to WWE.com and...
If it's just low-tier items like basic resources, then a smaller payment will be enough. What most players give to the raiders, including myself, is modded spears. Even if you get an inventory full of weapons, the raiders will gladly accept 2 or 3 modded spears in exchange. One thing you might notice when giving the share to the raiders is this reputation down below. For you, it's going to be probably empty, but you don't have to worry. This reputation bar is completely useless. Having 0 or 200 reputation won't change anything. You would think that the more reputation you have, the more good bases you will get, but it's a lie.
Liar!
Even if you have 200 reputation, you will still get trash bases. Or in the other hand, if you just started raiding, you can get a pretty decent raid. And there you go, you have successfully completed your first raid. It was not that hard, right? But it is not over yet. Because now that you have raided, your own base becomes visible to other raiders. When you see this skull icon here, it means that anyone can raid you in the next 24 hours. In the beginning, you will have 1 skull. However, if you continue raiding, the number of skulls will increase. The more skulls, the more dangerous it gets. So make sure to watch my previous video so that you can secure your base. And that's everything you need to know about raiding in Last Day on Earth. In the next video, I will show you all the tricks you can use to maximize the loot inside a raid. So subscribe to not miss out. Thanks for watching and bye bye.